a good time with the number 193 heavy metal news Jive Talkin podcast. Gonna have a little fun. Gonna have a little fun talking heavy metal news. Are you talking heavy metal news? Yes, baby, yes, news. Something sultry there for you. Something sexy. What's going on? Welcome back to Jive Talkin. The laptop stopped. Thank you, universe. Thank you for that. I have been sitting here for 35 minutes, and I'll tell you why. I've been sitting here for 35 minutes waiting for this laptop to stop humming. Just waiting, and it just stopped as I finished that tune. I'll be curious if you guys say, yeah, it was playing the fan was going for the first 1 minute. And maybe it was that song that killed it. Maybe that's what it is. We've got heavy metal news galore. 193 of this episode. Can you believe it? Are you a long-time hanger-oner of this podcast? You have fun and listen to it, learn a lot of interesting things, and then relay them to, well, whoever you feel like. Am I the first place you get your heavy metal news? I'd like to know that as well, but we're going to get to it. Now, here's the deal. I had to wait 35 minutes for that fan to turn off, and because I ate a banana, and do you remember the thing where if you eat the banana but you drink Sprite, it'll blow up your stomach or whatever? Like you can't mix them. It's like that candy you put in Diet Coke. Well, my greenies. I cracked one of those and I thought, I don't know if I can drink that. And I don't know if that's something that happens with the air involved in that or something like that. Like maybe it doesn't happen in the stomach or whatever. Like if you eat those Mentos and Diet Coke at the same time, it's not going to do nothing, right? That's for the comments down there. We're getting into heavy metal news here on a timeline because I got a rock band that's going to kick off in my garage. And so we're going to whip along. We've got your comments. It's my favorite part of the podcast is at the very end there. We've got stories. You think that, well, I was going to set this up because we got Ace Frehley on the tap. He says he was asked to do that Kiss thing and he said, I turned him down. There's a documentary about Ozzy that's not going to happen now. The BBC is pulling that, so I want to learn a little bit about that. Bruce Dickinson, interesting term of phrase. He says that the new drummer adds consistency to the shows now or something. So I wanted to hear a little bit about that. All of this and so much more. Let's get into the first story. If you don't know, now you know. David Lee Roth, Diamond Dave, had played some show recently where he talked about, now you remember we did the reaction video to Sammy Hagar's song about Eddie Van Halen. It's like, thank you, goodbye, good night, forever, I love you. Well, David Lee Roth got upon the stage and made some remark about, about Sammy Hagar. We're going to get through all of this because that's the wonderfulness of Blabbermouth. They've probably got both sides of this thing all set to go. But essentially, they thought Sammy Hagar was going to retort with something really nasty. But it turns out he's talking about an olive branch. Do you see how I spun that from, oh my God, this is going to be negativity, to perhaps this is going to be something wonderful? So we're going to learn about it right now. That is Sammy Hagar. Of course, he's playing the role of the heavenly figure. You know, he's got the white jacket on and the hair. And then, well, you know what that is over there. Kind of grimacing. But they sure do pick the pictures, don't they? A lot of times they do that in those stories where they'll find that Axl Rose loses his shit, but they'll find one where he's in the middle of a stuck it in the middle and stuck it in it, and they say, oh, he's pissed there. But let's get into it now. Sammy Hagar calls David Lee Roth's recent comments an olive branch moment. And he says, this is not negative whatsoever. That's where I'm interested with this thing. Sammy Hagar has downplayed David Lee Roth's recent comments about Hagar's claim that the fellow former Van Halen singer drew inspiration for a song from a dream he had where he reunited with his late bandmate Eddie Van Halen. And Sammy said that he was sitting there in the dark. He woke up and Eddie Van Halen was sitting over there with a guitar and he said, what are you doing sleeping, buddy? Let's get writing a song. In 2022, Hagar recounted being greeted by Van Halen in a dream. where they got together, and he made a new track. The resulting song, Encore, Thank You, Goodnight, was released this April via Big Machine Rock on August 13th of this fine year. Today, as I record this for future peoples, the New Earth humans out there, hear me, Trump. Welcome. We're doing good. But as I record this, it's 8/21/25. On August 13th, he, while performing the Van Halen classic Dance the Night Away at a Hampton Beach casino ballroom in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire, during his recent launched summer 2025 U.S. solo tour, Mr. David Lee Roth addressed Hagar's claim, telling the crowd, says, one of my esteemed colleagues, he's a contemporary. He's got a great voice, Scooby-Doo, he's got a great catalog. That's what they call that, the music, you know. He's got a catalog on him, boy. He's got a catalog that's 8 pounds thick. He got a great catalog. You always know Sammy Hagar. You all know Sammy Hagar, don't you? He's got a great voice. And Sammy he described to the media, and check it and dig it, people. And Sammy he described to the media about 6 Scooby-Doo weeks ago that the ghost of Eddie Van Halen visited him and graced him with a song that he memorized and then went home and recorded. It's on the internet. Roth continued, now I don't know what the odds are, but last night the ghost of Eddie Van Halen visited me at the fucking hotel room. I was watching the weather report, and he came in and he was laughing. He said, he's a fucking ghost. A fucking ghost was laughing. I said, what did you do now? Because Dave was perfectly comfortable. Eddie Van Halen's ghost there. He said, Dave, man, actually, you want me to do his accent? And then he adopted Eddie's accent. Did Eddie have an accent? I knew he was from Holland. Him and his fine brother Alex were from Holland, but I didn't detect. He said, hey, Dave. He said, Dave, you know that song I gave Hagar? I said, what now? He said, it's actually Iron Butterflies In-A-Gata-Da-Vida backwards. Don't fucking tell him. I mean, that does... okay, I'm going to say this. I truly believe him that Eddie Van Halen came to him. I'm telling you this. But it's got a lot of riff that David would use, you know, the riffing in the words. And David says, you know what song I gave Hagar? I said, what did you do? He says, I actually gave In-A-Gata-Da-Vida backwards. That's a David Lee Roth thing, isn't it? And he said, and don't fucking tell him. This all stays in the room, right? I laughed. We shared a ghost cigarette, a ghost Marlboro, not one of those pussy-ass white ones. He's talking about the Marlboro Light. And that's what you do when you want to try to cut back, allegedly. You know, that's what I did. I was smoking Reds, baby. Smoking Reds. I go down the street, pick him up from the police officer's wife down there. Go to her house, knock on the door. He's gone to work. She's selling, Marlboros and Marlboro Lights to all the kids. And Camel. Price of a pack of cigarettes back then when I was going over to that police officer's wife's house. And that's not all she sold over there. But $1.25 for a pack. But the point being that once you have smoked and you say, man, your intuition is starting to tell you, you got to stop doing this. Then you go to the white filters. Dave isn't having any of that. There's not their pussy-ass white ones, but the Marlboro Reds. And I hugged my brother Ed and I said, man, I do fucking miss you. And he said, I miss you too, Dave. And he said, but you know what, Dave? You should still go to hell. And I said, save me a seat, Eddie. Save me a seat. I love it. Although Ross' comments were widely perceived as poking fun at Hagar, the Red Rocker had a different take. He said, why can't it be love? Why can't it be love? He said, I can't believe social media is trying to make this something out of this. They almost sound the same, don't they? Hagar wrote on his Instagram page, does that got a blue check mark? Anyone can have them nowadays. This is my first compliment and real olive branch moment Dave and I have had in 100 years. Listen closely and you will see that this is not a negative whatsoever. I believe Dave had the dream as well. Dave's a good storyteller, but there's some truth in between the showmanship. All good with me. There goes the fan. It's all good with me. Keep it up, Dave. These songs we both wrote with Eddie need to be carried on forever. I believe it. I believe that this is coming from, I'll just say an atheist 3 years ago. 2.5 years ago. 3 years ago. I believe it. I have been healed. He says, all good with me. He says, David, you saved me a seat in that sweet burning hell down there, and you can doodle on that guitar. And I said, you know what we could all use down here in hell right now? We could use a ice cream man, baby. Stop me when I'm passing by. See all my flavors, I guarantee to satisfy. It's a hot crowd in here tonight. 3 years ago, Hagar spoke about the inspiration for Encore, Thank You, Good Night, Telling Ultimate Classic Rock. Fine web publication over there. Sometimes I'll even noodle over for a bass line or two that I'm trying to peek at. I don't want to learn songs. I've decided that. I want to learn kick-ass riffs from songs, but I don't want to sit there and play all the boring bits of somebody's song. Sorry. Just the good bits. Maybe I have the mind of a progressive metal bass player that plays like someone that couldn't even be in Quiet Riot, honestly. But about 2 months ago, I had this dream, and Eddie Van Halen came. It was just like he'd been gone. It was not like he was past, but he had just been out of my life, and we didn't see each other for a while. He's going, man, let's write some music. And I said, yeah, fuck it, man. I'll give me some of that Cabo Wabo tequila and we'll sit down. Let's go. Hagar, okay, that's it. Okay, well, let's read this real quick, and then we'll move on to the next story, which is Ace Frehley declining to go to the Kiss landlocked Kiss Kruise event in Las Vegas. Hagar co-wrote the song. No. When Encore, Thank You, Good Night was finally released, Sammy clarified in a statement that it's not meant to be anything more than a thank you with love, with respect, and with one hell of a guitar solo from Joe Man Satriani. Another guitar player that's everywhere at all times, right? I mean, literally. This guy was teaching thrash and death metal bands how to play guitar. This is truth. I mean, I want to say he was teaching someone like David Ellefson or somebody, like thrash. Joe, you're everywhere. Joe Satriani brought in that big, emotional, guitar-driven energy that feels like Eddie the Edman Van Halen spirit, but it's entirely of Joe's creation. With Michael Anthony, thundering bass and stellar Van Halen-esque background vocals of Kenny Aronoff's relentlessly powerful driving rhythms. The song really came alive. God bless you. Bless you all. But you know what? I'm very happy for them. The reason for that is because they're all me and I am all them. They are a sprig of that magic energy that is having an experience, but we all come from the same. So I'm completely happy with Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth and all of them, because they're just really doing great, and I can kind of congratulate myself for that, because in a big way, we're all the same.
Ace Frehley, he's got his thumbs up. Oh, you guys are great.
Has he ever answered the questions about writing that whole album about a girl he no longer is with? His beloved, his betrothed. He wrote an entire album about her that's pretty not bad at all. Some people say it's just straightforward plastic, but it's fine. But now he's not even with that gal anymore. His sweet honey poo. What was her name? And they would do those videos where they were going grocery shopping at Target. He's always doing, he says, I got to do something crazy for the video. I'm going to pick up these SpongeBob SquarePants pajamas and do something fun with them. But they would do that together. And then next thing you know, she's out. And he wrote, I mean, how wonderful is that? What was it? Cherry Bomb. She's my sweet little honey poo cherry bomb. You break up with a guy, but you got a whole dang record about yourself. Just about how wonderful you are. I'd like that at some point. Ace Frehley on Kiss. Do you know what that originally meant before they cleaned it up for the kids? Upcoming Las Vegas fan event. They asked me
to appear, and I declined.
Well, why would you do it? Ace is completely correct here. Why would you do that when you weren't even asked, really, to go to that last event with him? Why would you want to, hey, this, I know this ain't the big one, Ace, but you can come down with me and Jane, and you can play in the parking lot over here at the Virgin Hotel if you want to do that. They're trying to drum up more ticket sales because Ace is going to get some seats, get some more sold. In a new interview with Guitar World Magazine, original Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley was asked if he was invited to participate in the band's upcoming Kiss Kruise Landlocked in Vegas event, set to take place November 14th through the 16th. Thank God it's in Las Vegas. That'd be cold on your nipples. If you're just wearing a t-shirt, you don't have an under t-shirt on there. And mine can cut glass. I mean, I've got these little buggers, The areola and everything is very small, and the nipple, but they are just, they get, they'll, November 14th through the 16th, 2025 at the Virgin Hotels in Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, this special fan event experience is being organized by fellow Kiss founders. The Starman Starchild, Mr. Paul, the Stanman Stanley, and Gene Simmons, oh yeah, with co-producer Pop House. Now, we know all about them. We're not going to get into that. Creators of the boutique music vacation Topeka and music-led destination experience company, I was thinking, Topeka. Oh, that popped something in my mind I wanted to tell you about. You can watch it on YouTube, but if you're not a fan, I've been going Men at Work crazy. I mean, those first two records, Business as Usual, Cargo, crazy for it. There's a documentary you can watch about Colin Hay, and he is wonderful. He is so funny and so fantastic. And so after I watched this documentary, the reason why I thought Topeka, that came in, is because he put out a solo acoustic record called Topanga. I'm just saying, if you get a chance. And then I did tune in to see, because they are currently out on the road with Toto. Love isn't always on time. You know that band? They're out on the road, and I popped in for a minute just to see how it was going, and it looked to be going well. But none of the original members are there, or any of that, of course. But anyways, not not about Men at Work, okay? Ace, please forgive me on that. It's about you. And where was it? Mr. Simmons, the pop, yes.
They asked me and I declined.
Frehley told Guitar World.
There's no way I'm going to be involved with that, you know?
Referencing the fact that Kiss played its last 2 concerts in December 2023, and Shane will nail this right on the head, at Madison Square Garden in New York City, where none of the group's former members made guest appearances. With the legendary rock act. Frehley added,
Their biggest mistake is that they should have done that at the Madison Square Garden, not in Las Vegas, in a 5,000-seater or whatever it is.
I'm in love with you, Ace Frehley. Yes. Every single thing I led to that would occur in this set of events indeed has happened. And Mr. Frehley is no tool. He's right. You're gonna cut me. You ain't gonna let me and Peter go up there because we're gonna sound like piss instead of Kiss for the Madison Square Garden gig. But now you want me to show up because you only got 3,000 seats sold in that 5,000 seater. This past May, Simmons confirmed to Greg Schmidt of Noise in the Attic that Frehley's and an original drummer, Peter Criss, were welcome to appear on the last bands of his generation. What? Hold on. Guys, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna read this again. Welcome to appear at Kiss Kruise Landlock in Vegas, after Schmidt noted that Kiss is one of the last bands of his generation that have all living members, and that it'd be great if somebody could really utilize that still. Mr. Simmons says, I like the way you think. You got a good brain on you. Oh yeah, you do. It's a little too squirrely. You know, Gene's more of a kind of a... Oh. Where's his good brains going? I lost my place here. Kiss the lens. I like the way you think, but it's a dreamland you're living in. It's a damn dreamland you're living in, my friend. That's not how life works. You can lead a horse to water, but that's all you can do. I personally invited Ace and Peter to jump up on stage with us at Madison Square Gardens. No, you didn't, Gene. Because Paul would have had none of that. Paul gets embarrassed easily, okay? Sometimes. Occasionally. And he didn't want him, and he told you that, Gene. He said, don't you try any funny business where they show up and hit the back door and then you let them up on stage for a rock out. Don't even think about it. So that was not going to happen. For the final Kiss concert is what I did. Ace and Peter, I invited them and said, hey, why don't you invite him on the show? I did, but they said, no, I want this and I want that. That's what they say. Well, you can't have that. But join us to celebrate the beginning. But Gene, that's where you got. That's how you saying I want this and I want that is where you got. That's how you made things happen. My guts are rattling, guys. All right. Well, recently added activities. We don't want to go through the activities, guys, do we? Really, we went through them last time. Someone's beating their head on a wall going, yeah. That's all he does is Kiss news. Sorry. I just love Blabbermouth. I'm just sharing an experience with you, pal. All right? Can you hear them rattling? I think the bubbles in this, too. And maybe some of that banana might still be in there. But Ace, always a delight to see you, Ace.
And he says, gee whiz, everybody out there, you're really rocking it. good for me tonight.
Has anyone asked him the question? Do you talk to your sweetie poo anymore? I thought he had a song about her name.
Bruce Dickinson. Simon Dawson brings stability to Iron Maiden's live shows.
Well, when I see that word stability, I want to say that he's about to say something. You know, he's going to say, well, I'm not talking bad about Nico McBrain. And I'm telling you, Bruce, you don't damn do it. Don't you damn do it. Freaking guy had a stroke and then he got back up there and was rocking them drums. Stability? Let's find out how Mr. Simon Dawson is. I bet he's got years younger on Nico. And you too, Mr. Brucey.
It looks like he's out at one of them movie festivals, you know, like,
what are they called? You know those big men?
Quentin, I'll just come for a spot, get out for some skiing and watch the new Quentin Tarantino movie.
What are they called? Is there one in Topanga? Topanga movie festivals? Pardon me, At least I'm burping on Bruce's name this time, right? I did 2 burps in 2 different videos in Ozzy's name. That is not good. And I apologize for that, Oz. Bruce Dickinson says, new Iron Maiden drummer Simon. Simon says, I'll tell you true. Simon says, Dawson brings stability to the band's live shows. In a new interview with Rock of the Nation. With Dave Kinchin and Shane McEirkin. Shane, you got a good name the first half of it. You got to get rid of that last half. It's too much. Nobody remembers that. They remember Shane. They say, damn, that's a good name. I asked my mother once, why did you name me that? And she said, no one had that name. But there was a movie that came out 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 years before I was born called Shane. And that's all I heard as a kid. Shane, come back, Shane. I've never even seen it. Never a minute. Oh, no one had that name. What? Everyone has it.
Iron Maiden singer Bruce Dickinson spoke about the spring-summer 2025 European leg of the band's Run for Your Lives World Tour, the Trek, which launched on May 27th in Budapest, Hungary, and concluded on August 2nd in Warsaw, Poland. Marked Maiden's first return. The first run of shows with the new drummer Simon Dawson, who replaced the group's long-time beautiful and wonderful, funny fellow drummer Nico McBrain, one bass pedal playing amazingness last December. And if it was weird or surreal not seeing McBrain sitting behind the kit during the tour, huh? Indeed, Mr. Dickinson replied, as transcribed by the English version of blabbermouth.net. It's not weird from the perspective that what I'm hearing behind me is not Nico, so I don't expect to see Nico, because everything about Simon is different. Okay, now he might have a good angle here. Drummers are different styles. And old Simon might have lazy legs and want to use 2 bass drums or whatever. That's fine. But I see where he might be going with this. His drums are tuned differently. He plays the songs with a different feel to Nick. So I don't expect to see Nico because everything about Simon is different. He's really saying something sweet here. And he's hoping that Simon reads this because... So, because of that, I don't turn around and go, oh, shock, Nico should be there. because it's obviously he's not there for the sound. The drums are tuned a lot lower. They're much fatter. Meat on the bone, and some kind of the sticks with and Simon kind of sticks with the program in terms of the tempo of the songs and everything. There it is. He's absolutely scrupulous about cutting the right tempo every time. So we actually, as a band, really kind of appreciate that. Because all the guitarists have big smiles, like Cheshire Cats. They look back there at the drums and say, oh, we haven't looked back and looked like Cheshire Cats in many years. Maybe 20. And Maiden bass player Stephen Harris is the same. Because everybody's not feeling like, whoa, hey, steady on there, Trigger. Whoa, slow down there. So that's what Simon brings to it. So you're saying that Nico McBrain isn't a good timekeeper? That's what he's there to do, Bruce, is keep the damn time in the song because he's the drummer. And you're now saying this, I bet you wouldn't say it if he was right there up in your mug, right, mate? You wouldn't say it then. He doesn't try to be Nico. You can't be Nico. I mean, all right, maybe he's going to be nice. There's only one Nico. He's unique. There's only one everyone. Everyone. But we're all connected. That's why he didn't pick a clown. And there were plenty of drummers who could have copied what Nico did. There is some truth to that, guys, because, you know, you've seen them where they come in and they try to redo the sound. And there is a finesse and a flow to Nico McBrain that I don't think, even if you're playing the same stuff, I just don't, he had a finesse. Now, someone may say, well, what about old Charlie Benante, Shane? I think he's doing a pretty good job with Vinny the Vin Man, Paul's Vinny Abbott. I was going to say Appice. Vinny Abbott. And I agree with that. That's fine, you know, whatever. He did, you know, go in, Charlie Benante. We talked about it 1,000 times. He said that he was going in there trying to play exactly the same thing. But I still don't think it sounds exactly because there's a finesse and a sway and a swing to people. But we don't want one of those. We want somebody that had a different feelings inside. The now 73-year-old McBrain, whose real name, I don't need it. Michael Henry McBrain, no. Take those names, Michael and Henry, and throw them away. Announced his retirement on December 7, 2024 in a statement on Iron Maiden's website and social medias, controlled by the heavy hands of one Steve Harris. He says, what have they written now before we publish? Okay, publish it, it's fine. Sorry, guys. The band's manager, the announcement, where's his statement? He also put it, Henry McBrain announced his retirement December 7, 2024 in a statement on Maiden's social medias. Where was his statement on the social medias? Doesn't matter, guys. We're out of here. Doesn't he look like he says, well, I'll get me a spot. I mean, I'll have popcorn when I go to the theatre, but I don't have much of it. I've never been quite the fan of the popped corn, but, you know, doesn't he look like he's had a little sip of wine in there or something? Ex-Motorhead guitarist, really quick here. Philip Campbell, you know him, fine fellow. I've seen him with my own eyes. I thought this was interesting. Doesn't he look like a sweet fella? Those are tender eyes that says, you know what? I love you.
I have love in my heart for you. Everybody. And he's got his snake skin. His snake skin, what do they call that? Guitar strap? Ex-Motorhead guitarist, I thought this was interesting. I'm definitely not a heavy metal player. That got my brain thinking. I'm thinking, yeah, what is Motorhead? You can say they're heavy metal, but he say, we play rock and roll. We're Motorhead, and we play rock and roll. You know, they just play it really loud and really distorted, right? And I'm wondering if that's what Phil Campbell is going to say here in this fine article, whom I do believe, if I'm looking down and seeing properly, yes, indeed, it's Andrew McKay Smith of Scars and Guitars. Let's get into it now. In a new interview with Andrew McKay Smith of the Scars and Guitars podcast, former Motorhead guitarist Phil Campbell was asked about what he thinks of the biggest misconception was about his guitar playing as it relates to his role in Motorhead. Isn't he an English guy? He says, well, most of the Motorhead riffs during time with the band are mine all the way through. They'd change them a bit and whatever, but basically, because when we were the three-piece, everyone was waiting for me to come up with something to start the songs. Motorhead leader Lemmy, he said, get on to it. He said, come on, man, we got to do it. Someone's going to sit down in my seat over there at the Rainbow Club and play my card game. We got to get done with this. Lemmy would have had one or two or his rock and roll songs ready usually. But the majority of the stuff, I mean, it's all credited to the three of us anyway. Apart from Lemmy's individual songs. But yeah, people think, well, I don't know what they think. They don't read the credits, I'll tell you that. Obviously, a lot of people. The writing credits, they never read them no more. When you used to have the cassette tapes, they used to open it up, read all the lyrics, do all that. And I'm definitely not a heavy metal player. People think I might be a heavy metal player. Now, I think they're wrong there. Because he's a rock and roller. With a hard distortion. Look, you got to have something. When you're playing with Lemmy, you better have something that's just as distorted and just as loud. Because that sucker is loud. When they was testing his bass before he came out, you're like, instant migraine. Campbell was also asked about the morphing of the Motorhead iconography. For being all about the music to being a brand, with brand licensing from the band for more than 80 licensing partners across various categories, channels, and territories, marking Motorhead's 50th anniversary. I mean, and it's just an iconic logo. Don't you wonder how many dollars was made? How much money actually made it to Motorhead from all of the Motorhead merchandise that has ever been sold? They should be living in golden toilets. I think about the Misfits. It doesn't matter how many records you've sold as the Misfits because every single person in the world has a Misfits t-shirt now. It's like, where is all that money gone? Did it get to the bands? No, it doesn't get to the bands. It gets to the big greedy buggers at the top. That's what happens. We get all this pie, this much of the pie, and you get that much pie. Well, Motorhead should be remembered, I think. I think we should. It was just a unique band, Lem. And I did call him Lem. We got that close. One day I was close to his dressing room. And I thought that I'd heard him just maybe picking up a whiskey drink or something, but when I opened the door, I said, Lem, and I just got that out, and I saw his tallywhacker dangling down. And he says, what are you doing? You're supposed to knock. But I'd only got Lem out. And so when I went in the room, and he was toweling around, wrapping it up.
I said, Lem, oh, I'm sorry. And he never corrected me, so I never called him Lemmy again because we were that close. Lem was such a unique person, and the music was so unique as well. Why shouldn't it be remembered? I agree. Along with the music, people don't have to buy anything. If they don't want to buy anything, but if they walk around with Motorhead written on this or that or whatever, they think it's cool, that's fine. Oh, I'm proud to have Motorhead written on anything that I would wear. Me too. I had a Motorhead shirt once. It got torn to shreds. Something happened with it. You know, go back and find the episode where I talk about another favorite shirt of mine, Captain Spaulding's, that I lost one night. I don't know what episode that's in, but go find that. Motorhead written on this or that or whatever. Not all at once, though. Not 5 items with Motorhead written on it all at once. So he's saying, I will wear proudly Motorhead merchandise at any time. I just will not wear Motorhead merchandise all on me at the same time. I'm not wearing the Motorhead hat, the Motorhead bandana, the Motorhead necklace, the Motorhead shirt, the Motorhead belt, the Motorhead cargo shorts, whatever. The Motorhead shoes. There's got to be those out there too, right? Motorhead socks. You know, there's something for everyone. You got a Motorhead condom? Everything's there. Guys, I'm just loving life. Scared as hell. But just living life and loving life. Campbell was a member of Motorhead from 1984 through 2015. He probably wrote that song Voices in the Sky and all that then. And for the last 20 years of the band's existence was its sole guitarist, appearing on classic releases such as Orgasmatron, 1916. That was the album I was trying to think of the other day in some way. And Bastards, among others. With Lemmy's 2015 passing, Motorhead came to an abrupt end. Oh yes, please, I'd like to know a little bit. We have done in his current band, Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. We've done them before. And I don't think I was connecting Phil Campbell with Phil Campbell. Does that make any sense to you? Let's get into Ozzy real quick, guys, then we're going to get into your comments. It's 1:33, right, as I speak the word. And there's one of them that shows up. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, when are you guys going to be here? 3, 2, 3, 2, whatever it is. The one guy, isn't it? Always the bands. If you're in a band, there's always that one guy that's got to show up 45 minutes early. But in their defense, you do need to be the guy that comes in, turns the lights on, turns the PA, gets the music cranking, cracks a beer. It's practice time. Ozzy Osbourne, we love you. He's right there. We're chilling. We're loving it. You know, we're talking about dimensional and vibrational waves. We're talking about consciousness. We're talking about the quantum field. We're talking about the nervous system. And he's just right there. Okay? He's chilling. He's having it. But someone who is not having it, and that was a beautiful segue, is BBC's schedule to release a documentary that now shall respect the family's wishes. What does that mean, Sharon? She said, I don't think you're going to do that. I want to know what it's all about, and then we're going to get into your comments, which I'm eagerly awaiting your suspensefully. A new 1-hour film about the last chapter of Ozzy Osbourne's life was pulled from the BBC schedule to respect his family's wishes. So they're saying, but the bitch is going up next Tuesday. So we'll give you 2 weeks, but it's going up. Ozzy Osbourne Coming Home had been due to air on BBC One and iPlayer at 9 p.m. UK time on Monday, August 18th.
but was removed from the schedule earlier in the day. It was replaced by an episode of Fake or Fortune. What do you think there, Olive? What do you think? Do you think that's fake, or is it gonna make some bling bling? The BBC has since released the following statement. Our deepest sympathies are with indeed the Osborne family at this difficult juncture and time of their lives. We are respecting the family's wishes to wait just a bit longer before we will air the very special film. The new transmission date will be confirmed shortly. Thank you, BBC, for that. Isn't it just wonderful what big media companies can deliver to you, and when they can do it, and when they want to, and when they don't want to show you anything? Isn't that interesting and wonderful? Boy, I'm a viper today, ain't I? I'm a real... Got my fangs out today. Titled Ozzy Osbourne Coming Home. This film was described as the moving and inspirational account of the last, indeed, I frown upon it to say, chapter of Ozzy Osbourne's life, told through unique and intimate access to the whole Osbourne family, including Mrs. the beloved, sweet and tender Sharon, Jack and Kelly. Amy has no business, she says, she's not a fan of the BBC. But we got Sharon, Jack and Kelly. Filmed over 3 years, Ozzy Osbourne's Coming Home reportedly captures the extraordinary roller coaster ride of their lives as Sharon and Ozzy attempt to complete their long-held dream of moving back to the UK. Ozzy heroically battles to get fit enough to perform, and the family deals with the dramatic consequences of his ill health. Well, that doesn't sound too bad. Oh, Claire Sillery of the BBC, what's she going to say? Claire Sillery, BBC head of commission documentaries, and previously said in a statement, we are honoured to have had the opportunity to film with the Ozzy Osbourne family and his family and friends. The film captures an intimate glimpse into their journey as they prepare to return to the United Kingdom. It features family moments, humour, as we like to put on the BBC from time to time, reflections, and shows the enduring spirit that made Ozzy a global icon. We hope it brings comfort and joy to Ozzy fans and viewers as they remember and celebrate. He is indeed incomparable, shall I add. I am Mrs. Claire Sillery, after all, the incomparable, extraordinary, amazing and wonderful life of Mr. Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy loves it. He said, "Oh, keep going, Shane. Keep going. I love it when you talk about me." Ben Wicks and Colin Barr, executive producer at Expectations, added, "It was an incredible privilege to spend one of the last few years with Ozzy, as well as Sharon." Oh, fucking delight she is. She makes the homemade mayonnaise and will whip up a turkey sandy anytime you need it. Sharon, Jack, and Kelly. Ozzy wanted to make it back to the UK and appear on stage one last time, and he did so. Our film is an inspiring and poignant. Okay, I'm liking that. An inspiring and poignant account of him fulfilling that dream. Ozzy was loved by millions. Want me to read that again? All right. Ozzy was an inspiration for millions, maybe even tens. I'm going to say tens of millions, Oz, man, around the world. Not just for, I'm going to say hundreds of millions. If there's billions of people, I'm going to say hundreds of millions, Oz. Plenty of his music, but his sense of mischief and his honesty, all of which we saw plenty of in the final years of his life, but one thing shone through even more brightly to us, as the camera crew behind what, honorably there in the house. And that was Ozzy's intense love for his exceptional family, who were by his side through it all. I'm going to take back everything I've said about the BBC. They're going to air it. But I take it back. When you're right, truth is truth. When I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong, BBC. And by God, I am wrong. Someone note this. This will be a first. Let's get into your comments. That's right. Big sip. We got 4 of you. We got the big 4. I'll call you the big 4. From now on, it's the big 4. So you guys are part of a rock and roll genre yourself. You're the big 4. I've christened that to you. I've sprinkled it on you. I've given it to you. So, not that we're going to say, it's like the Anthrax, Megadeth. Everyone's got a different favorite guy. We're not going there. Because why? I am you and you are me, and we are all having our own individual experiences. So therefore, we are all equal. So this big 4 here in the comments below, how did they get there? Well, they put their comments every week on the podcast. They listen to the podcast, and then they go and they put their comments. So if you'd like to be part of that, and you've made it this far, then away we go. I'd love to read your comments down there below. I've been getting a couple of jerk-offs, but that's fine. I love them too. They're just limited, and they need to work on some things to get rid of judgment. So, without further ado, let's get into Big Tone. Brother Shane, I got in a little late with my comments last week and missed the read. Is that why? Is that what happened? Was great, and I'd like to mention that. 191 was great, and I'd like to mention that. I was here, brother. Okay, and I know you are. Even if you don't make it for a I don't want you guys to feel, like I've said before, like this is some kind of duty. All right? If you enjoy it, if you want to be part, do it, but don't work yourself over about it. I hold no anger and no judgment in my heart any longer. As for this week, great job with 192. Now he's going into Megadeth. Megadeth winding it down. I say well done, fine sirs. Let's hope you go out with an actual farewell tour and ride off into the sunset. Imagine that. We thank you for the entertainment, and I, for one, will do my best to see one of the final shows. And I'm not going to lie, I'd love to go see him, but I've been having a bit of an issue with crowds. And I think what's funny about that is that's all I have done my entire life up until I just stopped, playing an instrument. I was always in crowds and parties and gigs and bars and this and that. And now I just get kind of like, it's too much. Because I'd love to be going to concerts all the time. And I don't feel like it's anxiety. I just feel like it's a shift, Maybe you're having that. I don't know. Uli John Roth. Big Tone coming in on Uli. Uli John. Still laying it down as what we expect. He's metal to his core. Yeah, but he said he wasn't to his core. Big Tone. He's rock and roll, melodic rock and roll to his core. King Edward's guitar will fetch a huge sum, no doubt. Oh, he's talking about the Eddie guitar. I'm sure most of us Shaniacs have our fair share of memorabilia. I know I do. You got the head of Jimmy Hoffa, don't you? And hands down, my two most prized pieces of rock swag are my two Edward Van Halen guitar picks that King Ed himself reached into his pocket. Please tell me he put it in your pocket. I want Eddie to pull it right out of his pocket, right up front pocket, and then show it to you and then slide it deep down in your pocket. Reached into his pocket and personally handed me. He actually played with them both, and they are priceless to me. Long live King Edward. His tone and unmatched technique never goes out of style. He's 100% true on that, and he's got some emoticons here. Heavy metal, heavy metal, heavy metal, horns up, rock guitar, and king. Helmet, what do we call it? Hat, crown. Big tone on Vince Neil. Vince Neil is trying, and I'm told there are no pre-recorded backing tracks this time around. No Nicky, no Trickies. Great band. He's assembled as well. Do your thing, Vin. Okay, well, so, you know, apparently, then you know, even though you didn't get your comment in, but yeah, they're saying he didn't do good at that. And we thought he all was doing great. You know, you got to set, you know, what do they call that? Set the bar. Set the bar low or whatever. So you're like, okay, he was just about as good as Stadium, so we're happy. Big Tone says, great job with 5-mile walks on your quest to become, and I'm now at 40. I got to do 40 to 45. Great job with the 5-mile walk on your quest to become a walnut cracker. Don't stop. It's great to be health conscious. And when can we react to your son's garage music? Keep us updated. Yeah, they're working on it. And they got one of them guys in the band that's, you got to have a dude that networks. I'm telling you, if you're in a rock band, you got to have that one guy. And what you guys do is you stand firmly behind him. But if you got a guy that's out there doing the street work, working the streets, and they got one of them, so they've already got. He walked into some guitar center. Hey, you play guitar? Yeah. All right, come over next Tuesday. It's wonderful. Okay, there's still Big Tone here. It says, I'm incredibly pleased to hear that Dan and Althea have finished their journey. Congratulations, my friend. And that Mike B is doing much better. And thank you both for your continued concern and support. Yeah. Shout out to Johnny B for also checking on me and my family. Trust me, those will not be forgotten. As I always say, this is the best community on YouTube, hands down. Let's continue to grow this, my friends. Oh, I'm loving that. I love the passion. You're going to go far, kid. Thank you, Brother Shane, for your kind words and advice on healing. It's much appreciated. Paisan. Stopped on a dime this week, 10 out of 10. And as always, keep 'em coming, brother. Hoing, hoing, hoing. Good job. Hashtag get him to 100K. Let's get that to some bands. You know what? I'd like to see more bands telling me, hey, good job. But they wouldn't do that. They're not going to do that for someone that isn't cool. You got to be Hot Rod Marty or whoever the biggest reaction man is on YouTube. And then they go, oh, look at what Hot Rod Marty did. But, you know, in fact, they might even, you know, I'll tell you, like, let's say I got a video out there that's only got 500 views on it. And somebody, you know, like one of these bands, they're sitting there watching it, and they're going, oh my God, this is beautiful. This is like the most amazing art I've ever seen in my life. But then they look down and see it's only got 500 views. They're like, I can't. share that. It's my band. And it only has 500 views on that video. I'll take the blame. I'm the reason it only has 500 videos. But I did your video, damn it. So, now I'm not saying a lot of bands do it. A lot of bands will repost my stuff. But let's get the big ones out there. You know, the ones with, if James Hetfield said, yeah, why, I just sit. If James Hetfield was sitting at the side stage, you know how he likes to sit before it, and they got the music, and it's building up. And what he does is he likes to sit offside stage, and he likes to have a cigar and a drink, like maybe I don't know if he's drinking anymore, so maybe it's just a soda, club soda, something. But if he checked his phone, and someone could zoom in on that, and they say, what is James Hetfield watching on his phone seconds before he takes the stage and smiles at the snake pit? He's watching a fucking Shane Diablo video. That's what he's doing. Because James would say, I always have time for Shane. That's what I feel like he would say if they let him talk. Miss Althea coming in here, another, however you want, the Metallicas, the Anthraxes, the Slayers, oh, better hit that heart too. Jeez, I could really goof things up. Rebel Metal's not in here, interesting. Here we go, Miss Althea, the dumbstruck fool says, thank you for opting out of the Kiss Kennedy Center honor story. It's been a firestorm on the Kiss subreddit, and I am a long since tired of it already. No disrespect to the 4 original members. Are they going to honor for the honor? Okay, 4 original members for the honor, and no respect to Kennedy Center, as it is a beautiful venue that I have been to many times. But I'm just saying, anyway. I'm just saying. Anyway. Megadeth's retirement, Miss Althea, do they really mean it? Question mark. They have certainly left a legacy regardless, and I wish all members past and present the best in their careers and personal lives moving forward. On a related note, Marty Friedman is getting some newfound attention now due to his contribution of music to the anime series Dun Da Dun on Netflix. Did I say that right? Dun Da Dun. Boy, that's kind of fun to say. Da Dun Dun. Dun Da Dun. A literal band of characters based on X Japan. Oh, it was. Have you seen it? Was introduced in a recent episode, and the song Hunting Soul has gone viral. Marty co-wrote it. Isn't it a wonderful, amazing world? Sure, you got a bunch of shitheads and terrible people in it, but they're just bubbling up to the surface and they're being wiped away. But isn't it just a wonderful world when something like that just kind of happens? And you go, I love it. I love those whimsical, magical moments. All right, well, I missed my dang spot. Okay, Marty co-wrote it and did the guitar work. The vocal was provided by the lead singer of Dragon Force. Don't recall his name and don't feel like looking it up. I have not watched the series or just that particular episode as of yet. I plan to soon, but I have seen clips. It's wild. And the characters that is equivalent to Hide is too much. You know, see, now you got that exclamation point on there, so I don't know if that's a too much, like, oh, girl, he too much. Like you like it, or it's too much. I would be interested in that. I've hovered over that anime before. But every time I turn it on, I'm just instantly turn it off. It's like, oh, let's turn on Death Note. I heard, that's a name I kicks around, and then I'm just like, I'm just not there. And then I go watch some, lousy freaking 30-minute, 1986, the Police reunion concert, and Bono comes out. Leave it alone. This was in 1986, so Police are huge. U2's coming up and all or whatever. I don't want to see you getting on the microphone together and stuff. And boy, I'll tell you what, Stuart Copeland on the drums back there, he says he's never played the songs the same way once. They're playing "One Night in the Shadow." What you know what I'm message in a bottle or whatever. And he is just, I don't even think they played with any kind of a click track or anything. Just kidding. I'm sorry for cutting you off there, Miss Althea. It's wild. The character, too much. Hide is too much. The creator of the original manga on which the series is based was obviously a fan. I would be curious how many animes do feature ex-Japan in some weird way. That might be something for a question for the subreddit. Miss Althea. Then you could hunt down every moment that they've ever been captured in. Miss Althea on Tom, the fine man Morello. He's raging against that damn machine, and we thank him for it, for sure. I think everyone will be talking about the Back to the Beginning event for many years to come, period. I still have not watched any footage, though. Story we won't be talking about is that they raised $45 million for charity from that event. So there's just an extra splash of news. Eddie Van, the Van Man, guitar. Must be nice to have $3 million to sink into something material like this when people are losing jobs left and right. Ooh, that's me in this country. The thing can't go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The thing can't go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or something worthy of a music museum for all to appreciate and marvel at. Because why? Because some guy's got it down in his man cave. And he's got 4 friends that come over. They say, "When are you going to take us down, Phil? When are you going to take us down there to the basement to see that guitar? When are you going to do it?" And he says, "You're going to have to come back next week." You know. The return of bad movies, but we love them anyways. I endorse Mike B's suggestion of Monster Island. I only saw it once, but it was bad enough to be good enough to lull me within the first 15 or 20 minutes. And I'm sorry, but I just cannot with TikTok or any other social media. Here's why I say you don't get it. Is because of the doom scrolling. That's why I tell everyone, don't get it if you don't have it, because your mind is so much better off if you're not fucking doing that the whole time. But I do like doing it. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys because you guys care. The only reason that I'm doing the lives on TikTok is to listen to heavy metal music and get people to come over so I can go check out my channel. YouTube won't show it. YouTube's algorithm stinks, and it does stink, by the way. Can you find anything on there you're looking for? If you type in that you're looking for guitar solos or just whatever, you get this. I want this, baby. I want Vast World. I'm just being real with you. So I love, and another thing about getting on the TikTok live and just listening to music and going is it pushes. 2 weeks I went 40 miles and it goes by. You're looking at the screen and someone's saying, you're fat and ugly. And you're like, all right, cool. And you just keep going. And it's the same thing I do in every video. I'm just running on a treadmill. But don't get it. Because it will soak your time away. What I would tell you to do is don't get any app and go sit outside with your feet in the grass. You would not believe how much energy you can get just from sitting your feet in the dirt. It will alleviate stuff. You're like, oh, when's the last time they put rubber shoes on us? You know what I mean? It's like, when's the last time you've sat your feet in the cool grass and touched a tree? They're here for a reason. They're alive. Drink that water. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about at this point. Can't with the TikTok or any other socials. How and why I am even stay on Reddit, I don't know. Especially since the only reason I got on there in the first place was ask about the source of one damn photo of Hide. But I did get an answer. No. Oh, but did I get an answer? No. Jeez, I gotta learn to read better. I'm reading that whole line again. How and why I even stay on Reddit, I don't know. Especially since the first place. The reason why I went there in the damn first place was to ask about a picture of Hide. Did I get an answer? No. I thought Reddit was kind of like, I used to love the old message boards back in the day. It was a collection of people. You know, and all right, you got the thread talking about Friday the 13th movies or whatever. You get in there and it'd pop up to the top, and people would read it and go, oh, good. I felt like Reddit was that kind of a thing. Miss Althea leading us out with a keeping it bitchy. Boo, 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 boo. Johnny B. Are we having fun, guys? I gotta ask, are we having fun? We're chilling, we ain't doom scrolling. We're rocking and a rolling. We're learning things. We're loving things. You gotta be loving it. Johnny B coming in here. I once spent $23 to go see Eddie Van Halen's original Frankenstrat in the Smithsonian. True story. Only later to find out that it's completely free to enter the Smithsonian. And I had been scammed by an unruly trickster. I got a story for you. And you know, Shane, at first I was upset with that. But then I thought, hey, dummy, you just saw Eddie Van Halen's original Frankenstrat, and that's really cool. And then I was okay with it. Yeah, there's no need to get your nervous system all out of whack for nothing. That's the world around you that's going to feed you bad news from every single angle and see how much you bite off. And when you go, oh, shit, sorry about that, man. Yeah, you go ahead. When you get rid of the machismo and all that judgment and all that, it just feels great. You're like, c'est la vie. I am in a video game and I'm rolling through my game and I'm just saying, what's going to happen next? Very good. Very good there. So here's my story. You had that unruly trickster that, took you for $23 to go in to see a free, Smithsonian. Well, I had some buddies. They were in a hardcore band called Climb, and they went on a East Coast tour. And they were in New York, and two of the guys, they're just walking around doing whatever, and someone came up to them near the subway there and said, "Yo, man, check it out. They said they had butterfly knives." And the guy was doing so good with the butterfly knife. He's like, oh, shit. He's like, yeah, man, we're selling them for $20. So they each gave the guy $20 and said, all right, bro, I just got to go get him down in the subway. And walked down in the subway, and then the other two guys in the band walked over and said, what are we waiting for? Oh, this guy's supposed to be coming back with our switchblades. I believe Megadeth will retire peacefully and fade off into thrash metal history with a beautiful ovation. And I also believe that Metallica may have one more 5-year album cycle and will do the same. The very sad passing of Ozzy has these guys thinking they should probably enjoy the life they have left because they're not getting any younger. Maybe a good way of thinking for all of us, really. Indeed. Because I'm telling you, my sweet friends, you were never meant to lack, earn, debt, owe, none of that. That's where we're trying to get back to. And what's beautiful about a collective consciousness is when more people say, I don't want this kind of stuff anymore. I'm dropping it all. It raises it up. And it's a wonderful thing. And it's happening. By the time... Oh, Johnny B here. Oh, please don't let this be a Dear Delilah. Hey there, Delilah. By the time your podcast airs, the brand new album by the Deftones, Private Music, will be out. And it'll be interesting to maybe get your take on it. I'm a Deftones diehard, and I'm like a 5-year-old girl waiting for Christmas morning to see if Santa Claus was... You don't touch that little girl. Santa Claus... 5-year-old girl waiting for Christmas morning to see if Santa Claus was cool enough to bring her the Barbie Extreme Dreamy Family House. Was that a thing? It's got to be a thing. Did you see the Barbie movie? I went in so begrudgingly, and then I kind of went, wasn't that bad. But you can't do that. You got to go. Are we? It's time to go. The only problem with that, Johnny B, is that it's hard for me to listen to albums anymore because as soon as I listen to the albums, I feel like someone's going to go, dude, you got to do this song, and this song from this album. But I guess if it's let's listen, does it have to be strict on the rules of first listen? I mean, I like it to be first listen, but I also like to listen to music, new albums when they come out. I would love to know what you guys think, so you can always put that in the comments below. Barbie Extreme Dreamy Family House. You know, the one with the working kitchen inside. Yeah, that's excited. Yeah, that excited. Do they have one with the working, functioning kitchen? Ken's out mowing the backyard. There's 2 hearts in the yard. What's that song? Life used to be so hard. Our house is a very, very, very fine house. I hope... Oh, Johnny's got a message for you guys. Listen to this. Don't turn it off yet. I hope you all are doing great. I've been too damn busy lately, but things are starting to slow down a bit. Only to go into full chaos winter mode. I can't hardly wait. For full-on chaos winter mode, you can't hardly wait for it? Or you be in salation... Until next time, nothing but love. Keep looking up, keep asking questions, and keep your motor running. Keep your motor running, heading down the highway, looking for adventure, in whatever comes our way. Kind of my own spin on that song. That's trademarked. Someone's going to go throw music to it and put it out. Well, what did I hear about Men at Work that I found very interesting? Oh, that I didn't know. The song. The Down Under. Down Under. Like in the 2010s, they got a lawsuit. They had to pay like $100,000. It was like $4 million for this whole damn trial to go on over this flute bit that was in that Men at Work song, because it's an old Australian song called the Kookaburra Around the Bush or something. I never knew anything about that. But they ended up having to pay him 5% for that piece of that song or whatever, and it turned out to be like $100,000. So you spent $4 million on a lawsuit that you got 100,000 from. Anyways, we are going to call it a do and a day with this fine gentleman here. Now, I thought I looked and I thought I would see someone else in here, but it's just the big four. So that's how we're getting out of here. And it's 2:10 and I feel I'm safe. And wouldn't it be fun if they start blaring out there and I could just continue through Mike Buchanan's stuff here. First off, I know late, but I would love to have a live get-together with all of the Shaniacs. I know YouTube has a live feature, but to get all of us to be able to be live as well, that's something more like a Zoom. The only thing about Zoom is I feel like that's a meeting. You know, however, I would like it to be entertaining and interactive in some form or fashion. And I feel like if we're just all what's that guy, Sea of Tranquility? And he puts those Zoom things together and they all talk about a, Styx album, Mr. Roboto or whatever, And it just looks so formal. Hello, hi, how are you? I want something with pizzazz, live stream, where we can everyone can be in. Even if people are like, geez, I watch his videos, but I've never taken a minute to subscribe to the channel, but maybe I will now. But, hey, we'll think about it. I did buy this little podcasting setup. And it comes with a microphone and stuff, so I'm hoping that might help a little bit with audio and all sorts of other stuff, but we'll see. I can't promise anything, man, because I can't do it. Never know where life takes you. Each and every single minute, you are transmuting into a higher timeline. Every single action you take. And now, on to movies that are bad, but we love them anyways. Clown in a Cornfield. 2025. Yes, they still make bad movies. And if you haven't figured it out, there's no movie that's so bad I won't watch it. Clown in a cornfield, clown in a cornfield, killing all the kids. Clown in a cornfield, blood on the cornfield, clown in the cornfield, killing all the kids. Clown in the Cornfield is the cinematic equivalent of wandering into a small-town harvest festival after one too many caramel apples. Bright lights, sticky chaos, and the faint but inescapable feeling that something with a painted grin is lurking just behind the hay bales. The plot? Teens, a clown, corn. That's it. It's like someone said, hey, what if we put Pennywise in Iowa? That's great. That is an image right there, right? What you've done right there? Pennywise in Iowa. What do you think? Slipknot clowns. Iowa. That's why you're good on Rotten Tomatoes. This one's going up there. And the universe said, sure, but make it stupid. This movie doesn't just have a clown. It has the clown, a grinning, corn-fed harbinger of doom who treats a quiet Midwestern town like his personal playground of pranks and panic. Stalks whisper, the moonbeams down, and somewhere in the rows, rubber shoes squeak with murderous glee. Is it scary? Yes. It is silly? Absolutely. Is it scary? Yes. Is it silly? Absolutely. But that's the joy, watching Clown in the Cornfield. Feels like if Halloween Carnival accidentally got drunk on its... Like Halloween Carnival accidentally got drunk on its own cotton candy and decided to reinvent the slasher genre with extra sprinkles. Every jump scare feels like a jack-in-the-box winding up, and every chase through the corn might as well come with banjo music and a funeral cake. By the end, you're left giggling, shivering, and craving kettle corn. All while, I wonder if Bruce Dickinson eats kettle corn. That's almost popcorn. Is that what it is? all while reconsidering every cheerful scarecrow you've ever passed on a country road. Final verdict. Imagine if Children of the Corn crashed into a circus and everybody forgot how to behave. Grab your favorite beverage, sit in your favorite chair. Rotten Tomatoes, here comes the next star of reviews. Pop some popcorn, or dare I say kettle corn, and press play. Just stay away from the cornfields. Clown in the cornfield, living alone. Clown in the cornfield, blood in the cornfield. Where is the dog? Loving it. I am loving it. And you better put them up. Don't get lazy. Don't say, yeah, but Shane, I had to go mow the lawn, man. I can't copy and paste my damn ads up there, my reviews. Do it. They're clever. They're good. Okay, now Mike Buchanan on to his regular news, and then we're going to get some dad jokes, and then we're out of this sucker. 194. Mike Buchanan on Megadeth. First off, I'm sad to see them go, but I can understand. Retirement does sound great to me. Dave and Megadeth were the soundtrack to my youth for sure. For sure. Spent many of my hours in my room playing Killing Is My Business and Peace Sales on repeat. Yes. The first 5 albums are masterpieces. I'm agreeing with you. Enjoy the time off, Dave. Thanks for all the music. That's where I'm at. First 4, first 5. And then I witnessed them for the very first time with my little peepers on the So Far So Good So What tour opening for Dio. I've talked about it many times, but I saw his brilliant, beautiful red hair aglow. And I just said, my God, man. There is Mr. Dave Mustaine before my eyes, whom I've seen on Headbanger Ball. Mike Buchanan on Tom Morello. I've seen bits and pieces of the Back to the Beginning show. Maybe someday I'll watch the full show. From what I've been hearing, Tom's musical direction for the show was great, and the show went on without any issue, other than other, people's own personal goofs and spoofs. It was pretty well timed, and Tom was back there telling everybody, when to get. No, it's you guys. It's Group 1 that's going out now, and that's going to be the Nuno man. I've got to have you out there, Nuno. You're playing quarterback on this one, So he was behind the whole thing. Mike Buchanan on Uli John Roth. I know a few of his songs and albums put on for his solo career, but am not that familiar with him. He was the Scorpions for 4 albums during the 70s. He left the band just before Love Drive was released. Yeah, see, that's why I missed him, because I'm a young man. Heart, soul, and passion. But when I was a young man in my meat sack, I got onto him with Blackout. I loved it. Mike Buchanan on Eddie Van Halen. He's got a few things to talk about this damn guitar business, what's going on. Yes, I read Miss Althea's comment and agree with why can't this guitar go into a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame so that the fans can see it, instead of going to some private collector and it just hangs in some vault to never be seen again. Yeah, he puts it in a big vault in the case. You got to do that. Opens it up. You gonna let me see it? Yeah, finally. But you know what you got to do for it. Zzz. Oh, come on, man. Eddie Van Halen. He's talking to Eddie. Yes, I realize Hall of Fame. The fans can see it instead of going to some private collector and just hanging out and see it. Even the Beatles had to start somewhere. Oh, he's talking about the Beatles video from 1968 that we did. It wasn't so much their performance, it's just their ricketiness. It's like, I would be fucking concerned for the building I was in. You can't even erect a stage that puts the fucking Beatles on it? It's like, let's get out of this building. And now it's time for the Jive Talkin' Jokes of the Week, provided by, well, Rotten Tomatoes' up-and-coming new reviewer, hitting the storm like no one has ever hit it before, Mr. Mike Buchanan. Here we go. Last night, I yanked out a couple of nose hairs just to see if it hurts. Judging by how fast my wife woke up screaming, I'm guessing the answer is yes. So you took them from her. Got to get one of them little brushes. I see that pop up. It's this little brush, kind of a little edge on it, little diamond shape. And it's got these little razors in there, and you just pop it in your nose and spin it around. I'm in awe by it. I started jogging today. I didn't want to, but the ice cream truck kept driving away. Do that again. I started jogging today. I didn't want to, but the ice cream truck kept driving. Ice cream's good. I'll tell you something right now that's got me all worked up at this. I got a 7-Eleven close to my house. And my favorite ice cream, which I've spoke about before, is American Cone. It's the Stephen Colbert. I don't know all the ins and outs of the guy, but I know he's a late night guy. I'm David Letterman, okay? I'm David Letterman. That's what I watched. Conan O'Brien, David Letterman, late night. But it's my favorite ice cream. American Cone, something like that. And the 7-Eleven by my house, what they did is they had a freezer problem at some point. So they had to move all the ice cream out. Well, what they did, not to any other Ben & Jerry's flavor, but just to my flavor, is they must have taken off the plastic seal and, it's got the plastic that peels back or whatever. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying anything that doesn't have that seal on it. You know what I'm talking about? The one you just tear a little bit and you tear it off, then you can pull the lid off and you just start. Then you feel guilty when it's like, that's a little less than half, What did the Cannonball choose as his last meal? 5 Guys. That's pretty good. And finally, my wife has banned me from asking any more breakfast puns. My wife has banned me from making any more breakfast puns. She says if I make any more, I'm toast. But my kids keep egging me on. I'll see myself out. Hashtag get Shane a $100K. Yes. And let's get a Razzie up in this son of a, I'll say, bitch. Let's get it up. Get it going. Breathe deep. Walk into every single moment like, what is going to happen in here? What is going to happen next? And when it does, good or bad, act accordingly. Bad news, some jerk comes up, you go, must be having a bad day. Something good happens, elate it. Oh, that's wonderful. The more positivity you put into your life, the more it will affect you. And that's not just mucky talk. That's what they want to tell you. They want to tell you it's all. No, what you need to do is watch the news for the next big scare coming down the road. Cut it out. Cut it out. We're going to get out of here with a tune. I'm wishing you all the best. I thank you guys for tuning in each and every week. You guys are wonderful, and I wish you nothing but the best. And boy, oh boy, it's going to be one hell of a wonderful world. We're in the thick of it, but mark my words. What a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. Baby, got a wonderful world. Baby, gotta get that wonderful world. So, I connected the
Shane, and you have a good time now. You have a damn good time on the podcast, heavy metal news and a fun little talks, and we all walk around and we have a good time now. Have a good time, have a good time, have a good time. Baby, gonna have a good time.